Welcome back to the XCEL Physical Therapy Podcast. Today we are joined with Kyle Leapley. I am Robbie McMorris. I'm a PTA and athletic trainer here with XCEL Physical Therapy. This is Kyle, and we're going to do a little breakdown and let you get to know Kyle a little bit today. So, Kyle, I want you to tell everybody where you're from, and let's get a little background on you and where your family and all that.
Okay, thanks for letting me engage in this and having this opportunity here. Like I said, my name's Kyle Leapley. I'm an athletic trainer and physical therapy assistant. Just joined Excel. It's been about a month of practicing with these guys. It's been a great experience so far. So, super excited to be in this Quincy location here. Original hometown's Liberty, Illinois.
Mustangs, right?
No, easy now, easy now. No Eagles there. Go Eagles. Don't ignore that we kind of steal that Philadelphia Eagles logo in there as it did. But it looks clean. It looks good in there. So yeah, Liberty Eagles graduated 2008, went out to Western Illinois, became a leatherneck out there, did some athletic training, went through all that grueling, 800 observation hours, and then
Miss those. That's rough.
yes, for sure, for sure. I guess some good experiences. So
Yeah.
long experiences though.
You get to see some cool stuff sometimes.
There were.
Some gnarly injuries sometimes.
I know we're probably going to be kind of chopping this up a little bit, but a little quick story on that. My very first injury I dealt with for Western Illinois football was I was actually they had students on like rotations, right? So some people had to be there for the Gators, some people just kind of give out the water. One person had to be the right hand man for the head athletic trainer. Well, I was out there, got to run out on the field. We're running out there. Big offensive lineman is down. He's face down, and his foot was pointing to the sky there. So that was a real experience. That was week one, and
Start vomiting everywhere.
pretty gnarly. Luckily, I held back. I realized it wouldn't have been for me. It might have changed professions there. That was the case there, but luckily held on with the stomach there, and yeah, I mean it's still up there in one of the most gnarliest injuries. That are not trying to get all excited about these gnarly injuries, but they're just unique. They're different. It's quite the experience. But
You don't forget them, that's for sure.
there you go.
I got
There
through
you
like
go.
that for myself. So,
There you go. Yep.
so
Yep.
you were at Western Illinois then.
Yep.
You finished your athletic training.
Finished my athletic training.
Clear there and
Went and pursued high school athletics. I'll be honest, when I was in college, I was kind of a little bit like, oh, I need to go to the collegiate setting. I need to go to the professional setting, I had these really high aspirations there. Get back home, graduate, not sure exactly what direction I want to go. Get involved, just knowing through some colleagues. So get involved with high school athletics and what a blessing that was. I mean, it was a really good opportunity for me, and I feel like I was providing a good opportunity for these high school athletes. I just feel like I think education, learning experiences when it comes to treating your own injuries or treating your own pain, how to manage your body through a season, through a long during season, is important to know, especially if you're going to be a multi-sport athlete or if you're interested in one or two sports there that, I mean, as much as you're going to put into it, you got to kind of have an idea of like how to prep yourself versus relying on others, right?
right. There's a thought process that ties into like knowing the difference between pain and discomfort or an injury versus pain. Like, right. Sometimes there's a fine line, knowing when you can compete or when you need help getting better so you can help the team or not injure the team or hurt the team, basically, right?
Right.
Sometimes we have trouble as an athlete knowing where that line is.
Yeah.
Now you played sports growing up, right?
Yep.
Throughout high school. What were your main sports? Would you play a lot of, and how'd that help you with, I guess, going through the athletic training profession too?
Okay. Yeah. I played basketball and I ran. Track, cross country was more beneficial with long distance sports or long distance running due to the length of the legs there. That helped out. And a lot of my injuries actually occurred were just more fractures, broken bones. So
No big deal.
I not necessarily out there like but I guess is like stabilize, heal, recover, build back strength and go from there.
That's also soft tissue.
Yeah, where they get very kind of, each day's a new day essentially on that. So I didn't necessarily have that experience, but I did have limitations through my time being an athlete because of injury. So there was already kind of in the back of my mind like an interest on helping others in that sense. When I broke I did tear my tendon on my big toe, and I broke it in a couple different places, an avulsion fracture. And when I got out of the cast, got out of the boot with that, there was no physical therapy, and I ran, walked, did all my activities with a limp for quite a while. I even had never forget I was in a summer game and I had a referee say, "Are you okay, son?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to get back to it." Did I have any business playing that day? Probably not. But that was one of those things, just like, okay, it's healed. You're good to go. Never even thought about physical therapy, and then just went through, just kind of healed on my own. Went through it on my own. So
Figured out,
yeah,
basically.
right. So those were just some certain experiences that I had that I'm just like, oh, I want more for them. I want them to know that these athletes are um having the best bang for the buck,
Sure.
for lack of a better term. There for understanding that like this is the right direction that I'm going,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and like you said, maybe you were limping or favoring, and you may not even notice that. Other people are picking up on it. Sometimes that's the benefit of coming somewhere like Excel for physical therapy, where you have another set of eyes saying, "Hey, when you try to do a squat or when you try to step up, like you're cheating or you're favoring it." We don't always know it when we're doing it ourselves, but somebody else will see it and maybe can help correct something that's a flaw or a movement inefficiency that can help get you back to where that level you want to be quicker or sooner.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into like you were saying, like when you got into the athletic training profession, you were helping people with that as well, right?
That's right. That's right. And man, isn't it cool here how like we can get free consultations, and it is very much how my experience at athletic training. You have somebody that's never seen me before, come in through a referral or whatnot. A lot of times through the athletic director, hey, you're gonna go to him, he's gonna check you out, and we're gonna figure out, get down to the bottom of this. So for somebody to come in as a free consult, not sure if this is going to take some time or if this is a couple educational pieces that's going to get them back on their feet. And I think that's great for them. That it just gives them more comfort, right? So they know what direction they're going on there.
Now you talked about you got your physical therapy assistant. Did you do that at Black Hawk? Is that
That's that Blackhawk and Moline. Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
And then so talk us through that process. Like how long were you doing athletic training before you decided you want to do some PTA type work, or was it instant? Or did you do the athletic training stuff for a while, then you changed your mind a little bit about what other directions you want to kind of go? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, and even before I was an athletic trainer, I did a little bit of personal training
Okay.
as well. So, that's when I first got out of school. I was a personal trainer, a lot of one-on-one experience, at Snap Fitness there. No longer around in Quincy there, but I mean, it you'd be surprised, like, I mean, at first, I wouldn't think that there was much blending going on, but there is so much blending, or yeah, that you can put into this. And I'm not saying I use it all the time, but it's nice to have a little bit. Shoot, I'm not saying that I even remember all of those things, but it's nice to be able to have that as a tool in the toolbox.
Sure.
So, that was a 2-year experience, doing some personal training 101, a couple group things. And then I went into athletic training about 2016. That's when I started working with the high schools, and did that up until 2020, 2019. Even before COVID, I kind of already had that idea of like, hey, family's getting serious. This is a lot of travel, a lot of busy nights and stuff. A lot of eating at 9 p.m. to p.m. Is this what I want to do all the time? Or do I want to have more versatility? And that's why I decided to pursue about 2020, where I decided to pursue a physical therapy assistant degree there,
Mhm.
so I could work a little bit more in the clinic. got that degree is a hybrid program. So I was able to do that at 1 year at Blackhawk.
Very nice.
I'll shout out Larry Gillen.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I helped me. He was enthusiastic about me going there. I think he's enthusiastic about all the athletic trainers going there because
Yeah.
we can give those PTA students a learning experience
Yeah.
there too.
You had that strong background already going in, and there's not a lot of the terms and the the tools you use as a PTA. A lot of them are similar, right? You got to get that background that gives you that. I don't always say the leg up, but you have a head start essentially going into that program. It helps kind of help them relate to some of those terms and pieces of equipment too.
Yeah.
So you said that was around COVID time, which was a crazy time. Did you experience any challenges with like COVID during your transition as into the PTA program where maybe you guys had to do more stuff online or maybe off of campus type work, or was it timed a little bit better where you didn't have to worry about that as much?
I was pretty fortunate with the timing. It wasn't to where I lost any opportunities, but when they started videotaping these lectures because there was quarantining, so I had to be quarantined for 2 weeks at one point in time. So now I have to do all my studies at home. And that was even through exposure. I didn't even have it at that time, so wild stuff, right? But yeah, so there was plenty of quarantine going on through our class members there, so we were recording every single lecture. Well, honestly, that's great because guess what? When I'm driving 2 hours to 45 minutes and I need a little bit of a refresher, need to have a study again, I can just pop on that lecture, right?
Just while you're driving, no
That's
big deal.
right. So now I get a refresher. I get to listen to it all over again there. So I guess they made the best of what they had there. There was opportunity there. I didn't feel like overall our class missed out on hands-on, the clinical side of the practical side.
Which is the big thing, I think.
It is, right.
The hands-on component. Which you be able to do in athletic training, you had a lot of that exposure already. The personal training, you had a lot of that exposure already, whereas maybe somebody new to that type of environment maybe wouldn't have. So it's big that you were still able to do that, and it just gives you more confidence, I think, when you start working with folks in the real world, in the real setting, that you feel more comfortable in that environment. Let's talk a little about your family. How you're married, how long you've been married for, kids. Let's get into that a little.
Yeah. So I married right after I graduated from PTA school, like literally the week after. So we get married in 2021. There, it was crazy. I mean, finals, boom, getting married right after, going right into clinicals right after that. So awesome, great experience. Met my wife. She went to Caitlin Leapley. Maiden name Mallory. She is from Belleville, came up here, played at Hannibal LaGrange on a scholarship for soccer. And then she got a teaching job in the Hannibal Public School District. Met her. We decided to stay out there in Hannibal, and so we live in Hannibal now. Enjoy where we're at. Living in town is different from being from Liberty, where I've been on a gravel road, but we're making it. But no, it's a good experience. Like it's Walmart's 5 minutes away. I gotta love that, so
Makes it easy.
yeah, for sure. And then we built a family from there. The Leapley family started growing. It started off with our German Shepherd Millie, and then it turned into a child and another German Shepherd, almost like bang bang there. So, and then our child's name is Theo. He is now getting close to being 3 in October, and we also have another one, Luca, who is 4 months old. So we got 2 German Shepherds and 2 little boys now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
It's hard to put into words kind of what being a parent kind of does to you as far as like your work profession too. It gives you a more of a insight to some of the folks you're working with in the therapy setting. You can relate to different aspects of their world too, and it just, I feel like it gives you more of a ability to go back and forth, have good conversations, maybe joke a little bit. And in fact, earlier today I was just talking to a gal about changing poopy diapers. And it's something that I wouldn't have known anything about,
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. But now it's like, oh, I can totally relate to that.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit here. Let's go into some of the stuff that you enjoy treating in the, let's say in the outpatient therapy setting, which is where you spend most of your time now. Is there anything that you feel like, man, I really love working with, this set of clients or this population, or is there an injury or a recovery, um, let's say body part or something similar that you enjoy doing, you
Yeah.
enjoy working with?
Yeah, yeah. So with the background that I have with athletic training, having a little personal training, I feel like I had a little bit more nosedive into some of that sports specific, advanced activities there. I think there's worlds where we need athletes, we need human beings, even, I shouldn't say everybody has their own like little athletic principle. If something's holding you back, through injury pains or whatnot, then you know, you should be able to come to therapy, to get yourself to excel to that physician there. Right. That's
No pun intended, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm getting better at that there. So, and so I say that like that advanced rehab, if you will, some of those later stages, this could be post surgical, this could be non post surgical, you could be recovering from like a soft tissue injury along those lines. And it's kind of like tendon health more on that 3 to 4 month where it's kind of more of a grind where you're starting to feel things out there. But I really enjoy all that aspect because some of the return to play, return to sport type of testing there, and being able to, it's fun for me, and I hope it's fun for the patients as well and the clients as well to get to experience. Like, I'm gonna put together like a program that is very similar, that kind of rubs off of like what we're trying to achieve there, right? For so if
Like
you're
common goal, right?
yeah, right. Yeah, if you're, a striker in soccer, and we need to get back to our sprints, we can work through that. But if we're somebody that's more like maybe a defender that just needs that boot, then we're working more along those lines. So really just kind of fine tuning those end goals there, like you said, those advanced goals on there. So I enjoy all those aspects when it comes to the advanced stages of stuff. See a lot of ankles and history with being around high school sports, and sports in general. You see a lot of ankle injuries. So I feel like with the ankle and the foot, I have a little bit, I have quite a bit of confidence with just a lot of different array of injuries, uniqueness to them, because all of them, I mean, you see feet all the time. They're all unique, right? So it seems like there's no cut and dry situation with those, but it's a fun experience with ankles, in my opinion. Um,
The first thing that strikes the ground when we're taking steps, when we get up in the morning, first thing that hits the floor, right? So if there is an issue there, it affects you all the way up the chain. Essentially, it can,
yeah,
depending on if you, I don't know, if you have foot pain or ankle pain, the first time your foot hits the ground, you're like, oh, it hurts right now.
yeah, yeah,
6 a.m. or whatever time you get up. It's like, it's going to be a long day, or can be.
yeah,
So
yeah,
sometimes treating those kind of issues can be a challenge, but it also makes it that much more rewarding
yeah,
when you break through and you help somebody in that situation.
without a doubt. Yeah, yeah. We kind of take them for granted a little bit,
Right.
but oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But
And not to get too sidewind here, but for people that are watching or listening to this, I have personally seen Kyle help people with, let's say, limited neck motion where they can't turn their head side to side, and have them do just like a breathing exercise or two, or put a popsicle stick in their mouth, and all of a sudden their shoulder motion's better, their neck motion's better. Uh, I, kind of looks like voodoo type stuff, but it's like people feel better after doing it. So Kyle's got an incredible background in what makes the body tick, what helps people, as far as channeling, uh, different avenues of how the brain reacts to different stimulus, and it's exciting to see. I get to see it a lot now, working with him multiple times a week. So um, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but I just want to make sure I say that before we finish up here. Do you just,
yeah,
because I remember watching you do that with a young lady one time. She had a neck issue, I think is what it was. Maybe some shoulder stuff too, and just basically had her do a couple correctives, and then she could turn her head left and right without an issue. Her shoulder motion was better, type thing. And I was like, what in the heck did he just do? Like, I need to figure out what he's doing because I don't know anything about that. And that was pretty remarkable. I do remember seeing that, and it gives you, just another aspect of why the body is so incredible, and trying to treat some of these conditions. There's more than one way to do it. So,
Yep.
if it's something that you haven't addressed before, or something you haven't seen before, there's other ways to try to combat those issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
situation?
Oh yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
that was I was like, I left that day. I was like, what in the heck is he doing? And so I had to start picking your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
let's we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up here. We have a ton more stuff that I would like to talk to you about at some point in the future.
Yeah,
We'll try to make that work. But anything else you'd like to add here
No,
before we wrap up?
I think we need to go down that little sensory neural hack rabbit hole,
I would love to do that.
just when you think you got some things figured out there, what do they say, the more you know, the less you know.
That's right.
So
Right.
just when you start getting things figured out, you realize how out of control things are, how powerful that brain is, like you're saying. So
For sure.
man, I'm telling you, I'm with you. I think there's a good 20 minutes, a big old conversation to go with that there. So
It would definitely be a spiral, but
oh yeah.
to everybody listening, thank you for checking this out.
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you to Kyle Leapley. He's here at XCEL in Quincy, Illinois with us, and he's going to be helping a lot of people. He's been helping a lot of people already, so he's just going to continue to do so, and we look forward to working with Kyle for a long time. Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Robbie. Happy to be on board, man.
Yep.